A busy news day in Northeast Arkansas. Here's our rundown tonight on NEA Report. Beginning with funnel clouds being spotted across Northeast Arkansas just a few minutes ago. We're going to cover the weather right out of the gate. Officer-involved shooting in Mississippi County results in a suspect now dead. Also a police canine shot, allegedly by the suspect. We're going to have a full report. A Randolph County anti-liquor effort is being funded by liquor stores. We're going to talk about that and tell you the local man that's behind it, including trying to get a hold of him on the phone if we can. Crime Stoppers tonight and some suspects at an ATV store in Jonesboro. We need help identifying them, and Leslie Rutledge's emails. Those have been identified as hers, and some of the content is being identified by a national left-leaning website as racist. We're going to show you the emails tonight on NEA Report as the news starts right now. Jump right in. Your New Wave Wireless forecast today. Home of the $49 iPhone screen repair. But before we get to the 5-day forecast, we need to talk about what the weather's doing right now. And this afternoon, happening just a short time ago, we're seeing a funnel cloud that was taken in amateur footage by Wayne Wicker and posted on Twitter and then retweeted by the Weather Service office out of Memphis, showing a cold air funnel. This was taken south at Trumann, aiming south at Trumann. It's where Mr. Wicker traveling this afternoon, and one of several different images that the National Weather Service sent out, retweeted, that showed south of Jonesboro, we're seeing some funnel clouds. At least this one, we're saying. Don't know, maybe there have been multiple, but a couple of photos at least did show, it looks like, some in that area. So conditions are favorable for frontal clouds for the rest of this afternoon, according to the Weather Service, until 5 p.m. tonight, but they're not expected to touch down, and even if they do, they're not expected to be over 50 miles per hour. Still yet, the National Weather Service office in Memphis keeping a close watch on this stuff this afternoon, and if they send out any alerts, especially if they send out a tornado warning, we're going to pop back in with the alert on your phone, but you'll get a lot of alerts, I'm sure, around then, and you should have your safety plan in effect. But with that being the case, we don't have a tornado watch right now, and we're not expecting to for the rest of the day. Now, we do expect to see a few showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Let's take a look now at your 5-day forecast. I want to show you this because we do have a chance, 50% chance right now, for shower and thunderstorms to pop up today. Not expecting them to be too severe, but they could be a couple of strong, severe, spotty ones that do pop up, and we have a hazardous weather outlook in effect for us across NEA right now just because of that. Tonight, we're going to see temperatures down to 65 and no rainfall expected. Once we get into the evening hours, partly cloudy skies. For your Wednesday, mostly sunny, a high around 87. Up to 90 on Thursday with sunny skies. Friday, it's going to be another sunny day, a high around 91. Saturday, it should be mostly sunny, but you might see a couple of showers and thunderstorms popping up. 20% chance as we're looking at the weather right now. Speaking of right now, partly cloudy skies, 81 degrees in Jonesboro, and keeping a watch on the weather this afternoon, but still not expecting anything crazy to happen. A suspect is dead, an officer wounded, and a police canine killed. This all stemmed from an officer-involved shooting in Mississippi County late yesterday evening. I'm going to show you a map of the general area where this took place. It was an officer presence, a heavy police presence that was reported on Interstate 55 around the 56-mile marker. It was around Luxora, and police were reported in that area both by news in Jonesboro, but also news over in Memphis, too. You can see the Mississippi River in the map stuff that we're showing you here from Google Maps, and obviously a lot of farmland next to that river basin. So it comes into play here in a moment in the story, why that I mentioned that. But I'll begin the story at 6:57 with a traffic stop happen. Authorities, an Arkansas State Trooper to be specific, was patrolling Mississippi County on Interstate 55, and he encountered a vehicle that had been identified as being pursued by Missouri law enforcement officers earlier. The driver was stopped by Arkansas State Troopers, And at that point, the driver exited the vehicle and fled toward farm property. Again, now it makes a little more sense why I said that. It's an area full of farmland. So, two state troopers and a Mississippi County Sheriff's deputy pursued the individual on foot. At that time, the release says a trooper deployed his canine. The dog caught up to the individual and made contact, but the individual then fired a gun at the dog, killing him. After killing the canine, the release says the individual turned toward the officers and engaged in a gunfight. The individual, it says, was apprehended at 7:11 p.m. and transported to an area hospital where he died this morning. The body will be transported to the Arkansas State Crime Lab to determine the exact cause and manner of death, according to the release. One state trooper sustained minor injuries during the course of the chase. It says that was not related to gunfire in the press release. Two Arkansas state troopers placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation, as the state police has to investigate that deadly force usage there, as is always the case. The investigative file, it says, will be submitted to the Mississippi County Prosecuting Attorney to determine if the shooting was consistent with Arkansas laws, specifically the use of deadly force by a law enforcement officer. We're going to take a look at a quick few filings from the Arkansas Ethics Commission and let you decide what you see out of this. This is a filing for the period of June for Citizens for a Safe Randolph County. This is the group opposing the effort to get the wet-dry initiative, or issue, I guess I should say, on the ballot for Randolph County. This is the group that is also run by a local man, I should point out, who signed his name right there on it, James Anderson. More on that in just a few moments, right? Because even though the committee officer there, or chair, I guess I should also say, is a local individual, the money funding this is not local. In June, they reported, as you can see on the screen there, just take a quick little zoom so we could see the numbers a bit closer. We could see how much that they reported that they brought in. $7,000, totaling about $11,500. Right? I bring that up next to show you who is donating the money, because the money is entirely coming from outside liquor stores. Greene County Beer Association, right? Paragould, Arkansas. Greene County is next door to Randolph County. That's one of the places that you are going to have to drive to go get alcohol. The other would be driving to the state line. And clearly, it would be a loss of business for them if people were no longer driving from Randolph County to Greene County to buy beer, then driving back, and fingers crossed they don't open one on the way. That is the logic that is demonstrated in the statistics that show dry counties have a higher incidence of DUIs and DWIs. More people drink and drive, statistically, in counties that are dry because they have to drive to get their beer. And that's in line with why that the Greene County Beer Association is funding the effort to keep Randolph County safe. Oh, I mean dry. Sorry. Because it's not actually keeping it safer. But the one local name that is involved in this, as I mentioned, is right there at the bottom. It's James Anderson, and that is somebody that operates in Pocahontas. As far as I know, lives there. Now I'm showing you, this is a filing of his business, his registered address in Pocahontas. Anderson Refrigeration. That's from the Arkansas Secretary of State's website. That's literally public information, all available. Bring that up to mention, this is the one person locally that I can find on these papers, on these public records, attached to this. And so I want to know why. So let's call him and find out.
You've reached Anderson Refrigeration at 892-9538. We're away from the phone at the present time. Please leave your name and number, and someone will return your call just as soon as possible. Thank you for calling.
Hello, this is Stan Morris from NEA Report. I would like to speak with James Anderson, who I'm seeing as the registered agent of this business on the Arkansas Secretary of State's website. The reason I'm calling is not related to business, however, as I'm trying to speak with Mr. Anderson in relation to the Citizens for a Safe Randolph County group that he appears to be the chair of. My question is, how does outside liquor funding this group make this a safer county when they're literally funding it for people to drive there to buy booze and then drive back with booze in their car? That is the question I have. My follow-up to that question would be, statistics show dry counties have a higher incident rate of drinking and driving, and especially incidents with law enforcement and accidents. My question is, how does that, in line with the donations, especially funding this, keep it safer? I hope I can get a call back and a statement in regards to this. I'll leave my phone number. I would appreciate a call back. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, no answer, but we'll let you know once the call back happens. There's breaking news on NEA Report. We just received a press release from Arkansas State Police identifying the deceased suspect in the shooting in Mississippi County yesterday. This just coming in to the newsroom. James Edward Blackman, 35, of St. Louis, has been identified as the individual who was fatally wounded last night in a gunfight with two Arkansas State troopers that left a police canine unit dead. Again, the state troopers and a Mississippi County deputy were not shot in the incident. One of the state troopers did sustain an injury that was not related to the gunfire, but we now know the name of the suspect, James Edward Blackman, 35, of St. Louis, is being listed as the individual behind that. More news coming up in just a moment, including Crime Stoppers on the way. We need your help identifying some suspects and some emails you may be interested in. Hang tight. This is NEA Report.
Haley Norris, realtor. No. Should I make my hair go like this? Whether you need to buy, sell, or lease. Haley, can I use my hands? Or is that, where are my hands? Where do they go?
Just say
Haley.
Just say Haley.
Whether you need my expertise. Haley Norris, realtor. Or even do a commercial lease. Haley Norris, realtor. Should I say Remax Real Estate Center or no? Is that too salesy?
No, that's good.
My average days on market is just 50 days. You need my expertise. And that means I'm putting more money back in your pocket.
Family Medical Clinic of Walnut Ridge and Bono are your neighborhood healthcare providers, and we're now accepting new patients. We know you have a tight schedule, so we're here 6 days a week at both locations from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. Walk-ins are welcome. In Walnut Ridge, stop by 1045 West Main Street or call us to make an appointment, 886-8300. In Bono, we're on Highway 63 North or call 930-9990. Walnut Ridge Family Medical Clinic and Bono Family Medical Clinic, here for you when you need us.
It's not the most detailed photo, but the resolution's really low. We try to clean it up a little bit to make it more detailed, and hopefully you can help identify who this suspect is. Crime Stoppers tonight on NEA Report, but going back to the night of July 16th, when suspects allegedly broke into the Jonesboro Cycle and ATV, according to the Jonesboro Police Department. A four-wheeler and sport bike were taken, and video surveillance showed what appeared to be a silver, I should say, SUV leaving the scene, along with a suspect riding on the ATV. We're showing you the ATV photo there. Let me show you the silver vehicle so you get an idea of what that looks like. There is a photo of it. Shows a little bit more, and if you're wanting higher resolution photos than the ones I'm showing you right now, I want you to visit neareport.com and visit our crime section. If you have any information about who these suspects are, more about what happened, or if you've seen something or think you may have, you can contact Jonesboro Police Department 870-935-6710. But the number for Crime Stoppers is 870-935-STOP, and tips are anonymous. You can also make cash with your tips. While we're on the subject of trying to help stop a little bit of crime, a Ferguson tractor that was described looking similar to the one we're showing you right here was taken from a shed on Highway 69 Spur across from the barn at Cooper's Hawk Golf Course in Izard County. This one was reported taken on July 18th before noon. If you have any information which might be able to assist authorities, the Sheriff's Department's asking for you to reach out in Izard County, 870-368-4203. A few moments ago, we did a segment we showed you on NEA Report. We were talking about the Randolph County wet-dry issue. We're joined on the phone right now by one of the proponents in the issue. I guess we should say one of the men who is in the middle of it. He's behind the Citizens for a Safe Randolph County. James Anderson just giving us a call back here. And apologies for missing you earlier here, but we got you live at about 2:43 in Northeast Arkansas. Thanks for taking a couple seconds to talk to us, sir.
All right, I do my best. Tell you what I think.
Yes, sir. Well, we're most definitely curious what you think about the issue. Can you tell us, first of all, where do you stand on Randolph County going wet, or are you totally opposed to that?
Well, I'm against it. If the note is in, I got to put up with it. I used to live in a wet county, and it wasn't a bit better. Matter of fact, it was worse.
You think it was worse? How so?
Well, you got some more drunks on the road. It's easier for them to get.
So, are you aware that statistics show that there's less drinking and driving in dry counties?
Well, no.
Statistically speaking, and I've gone and pulled a study from Oklahoma and from Texas that showed in dry counties people have to drive further to buy alcohol, and then they have to drive back with it in their vehicle, and it shows that there's more, almost to a degree of 10 times as many drinking and driving incidences, statistically speaking, in dry counties versus wet counties because people have to drive.
Well, if they're gonna drink, they're gonna drink. When I drank, it didn't matter how far I went. I drank before I left there. And whether it's 2 blocks or 2 miles or 10 miles, it's the same thing. I didn't. Local restaurant not too long ago in Jonesboro, went over to eat, and a woman come in and sat down at the bar, which I called to ask them why they was putting me in the drunk tank, but either way, she sat there and I watched her, drank 6 or 7 glasses of wine, which is fine if that's what she wants to do. Got a bottle to go, walked out, got in her car and drove off. And it's pretty wet over there. I don't think it's all wet. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're still technically dry, but yeah.
And I don't care. You can take a man, set him in the chair next to you, let him sit there an hour and drink 6 Budweisers. Tell me how much wiser is he when he gets up? He's not. He's dumber. It's Bud Dumber. It's not Budweiser. And it ain't going to make you a bit smarter. It ain't. I know a guy right now, too, that's losing his family over it. He can't leave it alone. Whether it's a distance or close.
Over Budweiser?
Well, over alcohol, wine or liquor, whatever he can get his hands on.
So the primary donors, according to filings with the Arkansas Ethics Commission in the Citizens for a Safe Randolph County, are liquor stores from outside. Is that correct?
Now, you mean the one that's funding it?
Yes.
Buying it?
Yes, sir.
That's my understanding.
Okay, that's your
A lot
group.
of people want to know how can I do that. Well, if you go back to the book of Genesis, when the Pharaoh that was with Joseph died, a new one come up. He got to watching the Hebrews having more babies, and he said, hey, if they keep going, they're going to join our enemies and kill us, take over. We can't have that. Go kill all the babies. There's your first abortion clinic, in my opinion, ordered by the government. Go destroy them. And then, of course, that spread, and Moses wound up in a basket. Pharaoh's daughter come down, heard the baby cry. Miriam, Moses' sister, was there, and God arranged all that. Anyway, the whole point is, mother raised the baby. Woman come got Moses from the Hebrew mother, carried him back to Egypt. And that tells me that the devil had to pay the diaper bill. Also, you go on, he gave him the best education in the world, the devil paid that. And then he led the Hebrew children out, they went out rich. The devil's under the feet of Jesus, and people don't believe it. And, that's how I can do it. God took the money then from those that were using it wrong and giving it to those trying to do right.
I appreciate. I'm just got to say, I really appreciate you being this honest and candid with us. We're live on NEA Report. It's 2:48 in Jonesboro. We're talking with James Anderson, who is chairing the Citizens for a Safe Randolph County. You mentioned there as the taking money, from the outside liquor stores. Knowing that people have to drive to those stores outside of the county and then drive back to get the alcohol, you yourself said a moment ago that when you drank before you would drive while drinking.
Oh, well, yeah, that's been 40-something years ago.
A long time ago, yeah. So I'm just worried about people, as you also said, if they want it, they're going to get it.
That's right. There's plenty of bootleggers around here.
I've never encountered a bootlegger before. I don't know much about that, that world.
And I can't point them out to you no more. At one time I could.
But I'm just thinking, with people having to drive to outside counties from Randolph County, if they're going to probably drink and drive on the drive back, would that not make it safer to have the alcohol just for sale locally?
Well, let's say they put it downtown on the square and you can buy it there, and then you got to drive out to one of the roads out of town, Old County line, and go to the end of it nearly to your house. How's that any safer? I agree with you, there's less chance. But when you're drunk, you're drunk. When you're drinking, you're drinking.
But if you're driving 5 miles versus 25 miles, that's a lot less, right?
That's 5 miles versus 20. Yeah, that's 20 miles less. That's no rocket scientist to figure that out. And hopefully they won't drink. But I was in one county close to here before doing refrigeration.
Sure.
And that's what I do for a living. Don't care. But one of my main occupations telling people about Jesus. I just do refrigeration on the side. But this particular place sold beer. And I let them talk me into going over and helping them.
I see. So you're
went over to help them one Friday evening. Pickup backed up there, 2 kids in the back of it, and a guy went in, and it was either 5 or 7 cases of beer he bought, 2 cartons of cigarettes, come out, and the kids were begging, "Daddy, can we have a Coke? Can we have some ice cream?" He says, "No, we ain't got no money. Shut up and sit down." I don't know whether he drove 2 miles or 20 miles, but the principles are the same in my book.
I understand.
If it goes in, it goes in. But I'm against it. I think the ones on the other side of the committee, or in fact, Linda Boland's one of the greatest lawyers in this county was at one time. She's a good woman, in my opinion, and a good lawyer. Her husband is a great electrician. I ain't got a thing against them. I just don't agree with them on it. I
understand. Well, I would like to ask you one last question here, as we're kind of, I've had you on the phone for a few minutes. You mentioned if the county clerk certifies the signatures, do you think that the county clerk should certify them if they're right, or do you think she should throw them out no matter what?
Well, if they're right, yes, count them. If it's done right and it's all legal, and they live in this county and they want it, they voted in, it's in. I don't think she ought to throw them out. I don't think she will. I don't think she did last time.
I understand. All right. Is there anything else you would like to say? You got an open mic if you'd like to communicate anything else to us.
Well, no, if anybody's out there that really don't want it, don't vote for it. I mean, it's that simple. I asked our law officer the other day if he's ready for a raise and more tax money and get better pay and all that. When it goes through, if it goes through, then there's not going to be no more there for them. We ain't got enough law officers now to take care of this county, and they don't pay them near enough. They don't pay them enough to live on, and this money that comes in from those on taxes, like they're saying, is not going to help that one bit. It's not going to help our fire department or anything else. There's not going to be enough of it. It'll be all the time still cleaning up messes, I believe.
We appreciate you, sir, for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us today. That's James Anderson, pastor, I think, James Anderson?
Do what?
Should I correctly? I'm just trying to make sure I correctly give you the right title. Is it pastor?
Well, I'm not pastoring the church. I'll preach to one person or 1,000. I never met a man, boy, girl, woman didn't need Jesus. We're all going to die. That's all that's going to count when you die is what you've done with Jesus.
I understand.
Proper relationship to Him by grace through faith.
I understand. I misunderstood. I thought you mentioned that refrigeration was your side job, so I thought you were in the ministry.
Well, that's my main job is telling people about Jesus.
I see. I understand. Completely clear now. Thank you, sir, for taking a couple of minutes to talk to us today. We appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
All right, let's switch gears because we're getting a bunch of people asking in chat about the funnel cloud. So this was earlier. This was actually at the beginning of our show. And we did have that on there. I mean, I could show you this about a 1.5-minute video, so I could loop it for 20 minutes if you guys want, if that'll make you feel safer. This was in Trumann. It was about 30 minutes ago. It's a little bit. It's looking south from Trumann, and so here throughout the show, I didn't bring it back up because this is not currently a weather threat or situation. Take a look at the radar at the moment right now. You guys can actually see there's a few scattered showers around NEA, but there's not even any severe ones. I think Fulton County may have a couple of severe, possible severe storms, but we're not even under severe thunderstorm watch. There is a weather advisory that was put out by the Weather Service. They mentioned that there's a possibility for funnel clouds to pop up in NEA today, but they wanted to point out also that it's not expected for them to touch down. And then, even if they did, we're talking maybe 50-mile-per-hour winds. Wouldn't even be enough to barely shake the truck, at least from what the National Weather Service says. Still yet, letting you know, yes, for Dunklin, Pemiscot County in Missouri, Randolph, Clay, Lawrence, Greene, Craighead, Poinsett, Mississippi counties, until 5 p.m., you might see an occasional pop-up funnel cloud here or there, but you shouldn't really expect to see too much of that today. Departed has been playing to a sellout crowd this summer. Just about every night continues its run for 2 more weekends at the Downtown Playhouse in Pocahontas. The play will run through August 11th at the Downtown Playhouse Theater, which, by the way, just completed a beautiful exterior renovation. If you go downtown, you got to take a selfie in front of this thing and then tag us in it. We'll probably share it or something on the show. Dearly Departed portrays a dysfunctional Southern family dealing with the death of its patriarch. The Turpin family copes with bickering and chaos as it gathers for the funeral of its father, Bud, providing laughs and a surprising degree of warmth along the way, according to a press release. Dearly Departed is sponsored by Dr. Pat Carroll, DDS, and McNabb Funeral Homes, and is directed by Kelly Grooms. Remaining performance dates are on your screen there, August the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, and 11th. The tickets are only $19.20, and that includes tax and also covers beverage and dessert. You can enjoy a nice time there. Dessert options for the show include strawberry cream pie, key lime pie, triple chocolate cake, and sugar-free parfait. If you want to order tickets, thedowntownplayhouse.com. Call 870-758-2282. It's at 302 North Mar in Pocahontas. There's a new story that's out from Salon that has some salacious implications for Arkansas Attorney General Leslie Rutledge. I shared it a short time ago on NEA Report. Somebody's already called it fake news. But the facts are indisputable that are in the story. Even though they're digging a little bit of stuff out from a couple of years ago, the report details how that while Leslie Rutledge is a rising star of the Republican Party, she has a cache of emails from her Department of Human Services days. She worked at DHS that were obtained by a political blogger named Matt Campbell. He works and writes for a blog called the Blue Hog Report, I believe. Yeah, Blue Hog Report. The emails are a lot of foul language, sex jokes. I mean, you know, it's not the wholesome Republican image that the conservatives always try to champion as though that they represent. Rather, it's not just that, but it's a racist email in particular that stood out, that got the attention of Salon. One I want to show you because it's really tough to even read this as it is written in what is supposed to be an imitation-like slang from people that would need DHS service. Clearly, racial implications. Instead of reading Salon's story, however, I thought we might just go through the emails ourselves. Let's read some of them, shall we? These are written in the words of Arkansas's current Attorney General, Leslie Rutledge, who's running for re-election, by the way, I want to point out this year. I'm going to skip over some of these. I'm not going to mention the F words, and I'm most certainly not going to quote everything. This, from Leslie to someone we don't have the black stuff on the page, is redacted information. Apparently she has the most awesome effing assistant ever. So, let's see what else we got. Better not tell her I went out with a man 17 years older than me last night, she wrote there. She wrote, received an email, Judge Gruber, it says, received an email, Judge Gruber, still unsure about me because I married a much older man. When she found out blank is 7 years older than me, she almost had a stroke. It says someone sent this email to Leslie. I'm not sure that the emails sent to her are as interesting to us as the emails we see her send, like this one that says she felt like an a-hole. There's context that we're missing that is in some of the stuff about football. I don't know what that's about. It says, you boys are always looking out for each other. This was sent Friday, September 21st, 2017 on the football situation. Something about Huckabee's campaign, too. Some more emails go through there, but here's another one from Leslie that said something about making rooms or getting arrangements for a football situation. Again, there's some people out there that probably know more about this. Here's an email that said she's likely going to forego getting, quote, shit-faced and just drive back home, which is always a good call. Hopefully not drinking and driving, which is kind of odd, you know. Anyway, sounds close to that. From Leslie Rutledge, sent to redacted, back at my desk. I misunderstood the sleeping arrangements, something else. I'll make calls, see what I can do today. It will show the signature here, Leslie C. Rutledge, Attorney, Office of Chief Counsel, Department of Health and Human Services. I'm going to continue scrolling through here. Here's a photo that was sent. Interesting. Continuing down here, this was a longer thing that I'm not really particularly interested in reading. From Leslie Rutledge to 4 or 5 different people. Are you seeing this? Grass on the field, play ball. I guess I'm going to crawl back in my cougar cave now, she said. Oof. Continuing on, so I've not read these, right? I'm reacting to these live with you. So there's some more guys that were forwarded. I guess they used government emails back in 2007 to forward all this stuff to each other. There's more here content than just oohing and eyeing over guys. Specifically, there's content in relation to this. Finally found what I was looking for here. This is an email that was copied and pasted from Leslie Rutledge, sent out to an unknown number of recipients. It's titled, True Story, an email from a friend of mine. She works downtown with battered women, etc. And so I'm going to zoom in on some of the words here because I'm going to go paragraph by paragraph through this, and I want to make sure that everybody can see this stuff very closely. Because you can say Salon is fake news, whatever. Doesn't really matter to me. This was the actual email she sent. The current Attorney General of Arkansas in 2007 was not the Attorney General. She was an attorney, however, for the government. And this is written in slang that is intended to imitate people that would clearly function in her government official capacity as DHS recipients. So not only is this an email that has huge racial implications, but it's someone that was supposed to be representing DHS recipients at the time. I mean, it writes, "Den as day be leavin'," you know, right there. Nonetheless, this was all published in a new report by Salon today. I linked it on NEA Report. Just look for the comments that are all screaming fake news. You should be able to find the article if you'd like to find out more information about a very interesting set of emails that have, well, they were uncovered years ago, but they're getting a lot more attention today as the national left-leaning news magazine online is, well, I guess stirring up the Arkansas hornet's nest. Just about 3 minutes after 3 o'clock on NEA Report, we had those funnel clouds that popped up earlier, and we wanted to show those to you, which is why we came at you early. I want to give you one final look at radar before we head out the door. We're going to possibly see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms, maybe even see a few in Randolph County right now. We did see a few funnel clouds and may see a few more, but they're not expected to touch the ground, and even if they did, they weren't expected to be above 50 miles per hour. Otherwise, I would have had the weather alert up for you guys at all moments, so no worries there. It's about, I guess it's about 80 degrees right now in Jonesboro. 50% chance you'll see storms today. So just be ready. Have a plan just in case some stuff pops up. By the way, this is the first time this has ever happened during my show, but it kind of tells me when people are watching my show. And I noticed in the middle of the show today, the man who was my junior high school principal, Mr. Busby, joined us. And I'm still scared of Mr. Busby. So I hope I'm not in trouble if you're still watching. I just want to point that out. Nonetheless, thanks everybody for joining us today on the NEA Report. Back tomorrow with more news from Northeast Arkansas and at NEAReport.com in the meantime. I'm Stan Morris, and you're up to date.